So we're going to talk about Zechariah chapter 1 and 2, mainly chapter 2, because chapter 2 verse 13, chapter 2 verse 15, I've seen videos, I've heard Christians say that that is where Hashem sends Hashem. There are two Hashems revealed in chapter 2 of Zechariah. The way I've heard it put has been Hashem sent Hashem. That's saying that if we read the text, our expectation should be that we'll read literally Hashem sent Hashem. There seems to be a couple of reasons why Christians might understand 2:13 and 2:15 as referring to Hashem, but those reasons for understanding it requires you to add something into the text, read something into it, or interpret it in a certain way. So what I want to look at is I want to see if what's being read into it is an assumption that we can accept. I also want to see if that the way that it is interpreted is something that is consistent with the text itself. So I thought the best way to do this, anytime there's a question of what's going on, a lot of times what you have to deal with is actually who is speaking. Who is speaking is the clear question for almost any question of prophecy and determining what's going on and how to interpret the text. So what I like to do is go back into a point where I feel like we're now talking in context and I can actually follow the line of reasoning from point A to point B. One of the things that we're going to learn from this is that Hashem speaks not directly to prophets, but through an angel. There's always an angel intermediary between Hashem and the prophet. Zechariah 1:3, therefore shall tell them, thus says Hashem of hosts. It's interesting that you have this thing, therefore tell them. And then you have, thus says Hashem of hosts. Who is speaking, therefore tell them? You see, there's more going on in this verse than just Hashem straight up giving his vision to the prophet Zechariah. When he says, therefore tell them, that's Zechariah speaking, and if he's speaking, who is he speaking to? It can't be Zechariah, because obviously tell them, tell these descendants of their fathers. So here, who is the one saying, thus says Hashem? Well, it can't be Hashem, because there's no need to say, thus says Hashem. He would just have to say, I say. In that case, we know exactly who's talking. So what we're going to find out is that this is actually revealed to us later on, in a few verses later. We're going to find out who this other being is that's speaking here. The prophet needs an angel to interpret what's going on in the dream. He doesn't understand what's going on. Zechariah 1:8, I had a vision in the night, and behold, a man riding on a red horse. And he stood among the myrtle trees, and there in a ravine, and behind him there were red, sorrel, and white horses. So he got a bunch of horses behind him. Chapter 1, verse 9, then I asked my Lord, what are these? The angel talked with me, said to me, I will show you, arecha, what these are. So here we have an angel is speaking with the prophet. Now, this is the first time we're hearing of the fact that an angel is speaking to him, because he says, the angel talked with me. Well, when did the angel start talking to him? And see, that's that person that I mentioned earlier, the person who is the someone else who is speaking to Zechariah the prophet. So we know that even that the text doesn't need to tell us that an angel is speaking to Zechariah. It's assumed. The Hebrew word arecha, and arecha means I will show you. The interesting thing, he doesn't show him, he explains things to him. When he says, I will show you, that's meant to be understood as I will make you understand, or I will help you understand, and I will explain it to you. That's really what's going on here. So verse 10, the man who stood among the myrtle trees answered. Remember, this is the man who's riding the red horse. He's got the other horses behind him. He said, they are the ones Hashem has sent to go back and forth through the earth. Who are these? He's not talking about the man. He's not talking about the horse he's sitting on. Probably not talking about the myrtle trees or anything like that. Talking about those horses. The horses that were mentioned previously, the red, sorrel, and white horses. The angel he's been talking with explains they are the ones Hashem sent to go back and forth through the earth. So they have a task. Now remember, this is all happening in a dream. The fact that it's horses doesn't really matter to us. The dream is symbolic. Just like with Joseph's dream, where we have ears of corn and cows serving as in a place of years. The health of the cows and health of the ear of corns represent whether it's going to be good years or bad years. So those things are symbolic, but the symbolism has to be explained, and the angel is explaining the symbolism now to the prophet. It then says, they reported to the angel of Hashem. So now we know that not only is this angel that he's been talking to, that he has been in fact talking to an angel from the very beginning, but it's the angel of Hashem. The angel of Hashem who stood among the myrtle trees. So we know the man on the red horse is the angel of Hashem. So this whole time, so what we thought were different characters, we thought the man on the red horse was possibly a different character from the angel. Actually, they're one and the same person, and not only that, they're the angel of Hashem. So they reported to the angel of Hashem who stood among the myrtle trees and said, we have walked back and forth through the earth, and behold, the earth is at rest and in peace. That's great news, isn't it? Don't we love peace? Isn't people being at rest and at peace, is that a good thing? Well, you'd think so, but then verse 12 says, then the angel of Hashem replied, O Hashem of hosts, how long will you not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which you have had indignation these 70 years? So this is the 70 years referred to back in Jeremiah. But here, I want you to hone in on this fact. The angel of the Lord, when he hears the report, he doesn't talk directly to them. He's not making a direct statement. He's actually referring to Hashem. Hashem and the angel of the Lord are two different beings. That's clear from the text. To say that they're the same being makes absolutely zero sense here. The angel of the Lord talks to Hashem. Verse 13 says, Hashem answered the angel who talked with me with kind and comforting words. Hashem talks to the angel and comforts the angel about the 70 years, about the peace of the earth. How can the whole earth be at peace when Jerusalem is laying in ruins? There is no temple. The Jewish people are scattered throughout the world. How can that be? That's not true peace. And so Hashem speaks to the angel. Two different entities. It's right here in the text. Very clear. Two different entities. So the angel who talked with me said to me, proclaim, saying, thus says Hashem of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great jealousy. So here we see that when the angel of the Lord informs the prophet of things, it's not his words that he's speaking, it's the words of Hashem of hosts. Two separate beings. Zechariah 2:1, I lifted up my eyes and I saw, behold, 4 horns. I asked the angel who talked with me, what are these? He answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Okay, Zechariah 2:3, Hashem showed me 4 craftsmen. Now this is interesting, because now we go from an angel talking to Zechariah to now we have Hashem showing him 4 craftsmen. Now I explained earlier that showing has this idea actually of relating to helping someone understand, explaining something to them. I thought we had a pattern, Hashem, angel, Zechariah. Well, the pattern is still there, but sometimes instead of mentioning the angel, just directly mentions Hashem. Zechariah 2:5, I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. So he saw a man. Okay, this is the second time we talk about a man. Remember, we saw a man riding on a red horse. That turned out to be the angel of the Lord. Verse 6, then I asked, where are you going? And he said to me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what its width, its breadth, and what its length. Verse 7, behold, the angel talked with me, went forth, and another angel went out to meet him. So the angel who talked with him, which seems to be code that the angel who talked with me is the same angel in chapter 2 as it was in chapter 1, which that means the angel who talked with me is the angel of the Lord. But then another angel comes out. Now, why did the angel of the Lord go out? He's going to go measure Jerusalem. That's what because we understand that in chapter 1, the man that referred to riding on the red horse, sitting or standing among the myrtles, turned out to be the angel of the Lord. So here we have the man where he's going, and he says, I'm going to Jerusalem. And so we know that that man is the same as the angel. That's why that kind of helps tie that back to chapter 1. Now there went forth another angel out to meet him. Not particularly special, not the angel of the Lord, perhaps, just a regular angel. And he said to him, who said to who? The angel of the Lord is going out to measure Jerusalem said to the new angel, or the new angel said to the angel of the Lord? So it would seem the likely answer is the new angel has come to speak to the angel of the Lord. However, it could be the angel of the Lord is speaking to the new angel. So we have 2 possible interpretations here. This is the thing, that sometimes when you read prophecies, when you read the Bible, read the Hebrew scriptures, the meaning is ambiguous. And that means you can go in a couple of different directions. It doesn't really matter. For Jews, we don't really care. It can be the first angel or the second angel. It doesn't matter which one really. We don't have any skin in the game, theologically speaking. But for Christians, this might very well be important, because if you're going to say Hashem sent Hashem, and a Christian understands that the angel of the Lord is Hashem, then this fits into their narrative better. So for them, they have more of an invested interest in saying the angel of the Lord. If the angel of the Lord is going to speak to the prophet, that means he's going to stop, he's going to turn back and come talk to the prophet. On the other hand, if it's the new angel, and if the angel of the Lord is giving him the following instructions, when it gets to the Hashem sent me, or Hashem sent Hashem, this whole thing, there's a problem, because the angel of the Lord has gone up to Mesre Jerusalem, and now you've got a new angel who's not the angel of the Lord. In that case, you wouldn't be able to interpret it as Hashem sent Hashem. It'd be Hashem sent an angel. As Jews, we don't really care which one it is, because we don't have any investment in the angel of the Lord being identical to Hashem. And we already have a solid enough understanding, as I've demonstrated with previous verses, why angel of the Lord is different from Hashem anyway. And said to him, so I'm going to take it from the standpoint that the new angel said to the angel of the Lord, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem will be inhabited as villages without walls because of the multitude of men and livestock in it. Verse 9, for I, says Hashem, will be to her a wall of fire around it, and will be the glory in her midst. This angel has been instructed to go back and inform him of this information. When it says, for I, says Hashem, that's not the angel that's talking, that's Hashem talking through the angel. And when Zechariah passes this message on, when he quotes this, for I, says Hashem, Zechariah is not claiming to be Hashem. He's only quoting what Hashem said. For thus says Hashem of hosts, whose glory has sent me to the nations which plundered you. So who is sent to the nations? Is the person being sent Hashem, like Christians might want to say? Is it an angel, or is it the prophet? That's the third possibility here. The prophet is the one the me is referring to. And we can say that because we know that he's making a proclamation. So when he makes the proclamation and he says, who sent me, the audience who's listening to him is going to understand the me is actually the prophet, not an angel and not Hashem. They're going to understand Hashem sent me, i.e. the prophet. I think that might be a better interpretation. You could also say it's the angel. Obviously it's not Hashem, because Hashem is the one who's commissioning them to go out and make these proclamations. Zechariah 2:13, and you will know that Hashem of hosts has sent me. And this is where the Christian wants to take that me and say that's Hashem. But I think what we've demonstrated already is that if you read this and you follow who's talking to who, I think the most likely explanation for who the me is here, I think it's Zechariah, because these are things Zechariah is saying over to the people. And that's why also, you could also say, for I, says Hashem. So this is in the mode of Zechariah repeating what he was informed by the angel to the people. So here the me, I think, has got to be Zechariah. I don't think it's the angel. It is the angel, but the angel told Zechariah, but Zechariah is the one making the proclamation. So since Zechariah is making the proclamation, the me has to be Zechariah. Zechariah 2:15, and I will dwell in your midst, and you shall know that Hashem of hosts has sent me to you. Who's the you here? So if Hashem has sent the me, and the me is probably Zechariah, who's the you? It says in verse 12, for thus says Hashem of hosts, whose glory has sent me to the nations. And it must be the Jewish people as well. And why do I say the Jewish people? Because, well, if you read 10 and 11 of chapter 2, he's also talking to them. So he's actually talking to the nations and the Jewish people. And the reason he's talking to both groups, in part, is because the Jewish people are living amongst the nations. So he has to go to the nations, just like Moses had to go to Egypt and make his proclamation, both to Pharaoh and to the Jewish people. The same sort of thing is happening here. That's sort of like a parallel of what happened there. Zechariah 2:13 and 2:15 are being used as proof texts to say this is Jesus in the Bible. Are you satisfied with having such an ambiguous text as a proof text? Or do you feel you need something more direct, something clearer? Because it doesn't say Hashem sent Jesus or Hashem sent Hashem, but there are alternatives. Jesus is a possibility as being the me in this text, is the absolute last possible interpretation, because we don't know who Jesus is, this other part of the Trinity, or him as a Messiah. We're never told about it. Jesus, a possibility here, would not be on the list. At the most, you could say the angel of the Lord. That would be the closest thing you could get to that idea. But then once again, you have to demonstrate the angel of the Lord is identical to Jesus. Once again, angel of Hashem just means the messenger of Hashem. So I'm going to say that the statement Hashem sent Hashem is false. At best, we could say that the answers are Zechariah, an angel, and the angel of the Lord. Those are the three possibilities I think the text has presented us with, and we can choose from one of those three. I think the most likely me that's being spoken here is Zechariah. Others think it's the angel. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with others.